Hello, hello, good afternoon. Welcome back, my friends. It's been a good day of results for United, and just in general, as a hate watcher of quite a few, it's been a good day. It's been a good day and a good weekend of the Premier League. There's a lot of opportunities here. A lot of opportunities here. I've said it before, and I don't think I'm going to stop saying it, but the Premier League is as homogenous in terms of its talent and where everybody's at as it has been in a long time. And it is the perfect opportunity for United to capitalize on it. But how y'all doing today? Welcome back. Good to see you all. I wish the names fixed because now I'm reading these hard usernames and I don't know who you all are again. But Reti, Darren, Jay, Barry, Naveen, Sammy, how you doing, my friend? Half, Sagiv, Syrinx, Yvonne, Satya G. We need a full minute laugh. DB Cooper, Top Boy, Fruit Shoot, Howler, Naveen again, and my friends. All right, how you doing, my guys? Good to see you here on this Saturday afternoon. I hope you're doing well. Is Cunha injured? We don't know, but that post from Altrincham, visit Altrincham, is true. So, I'm worried. I'm worried about Cunha. We're going to need to see what's going on there. That looks not very, very good for us. Or should we ban for not giving Slot their lineup and tactics? Exactly. Hello, Samix. How you doing, buddy? How you doing, Macmillan? What's going on, my friend? Good to see you as well, Marcus. The gang's all here. Well, not everybody, but a good group of the gang. The gang adjacent is all here. Someone, hold on one second, guys. Someone's just sent me something I want to look at. Oh, there is ooh, holy. Hold on, guys. We might just have some serious news. Hold on. 1 second. Altrincham. Governor? No, sorry. I apologize. Won't do it again, I promise. I won't do it again, I promise. Don't worry about Monday, guys. I've attended 3 Premier League games under Amram and we've won them all, which is kind of crazy considering his record. That's true. You are a lucky man, Sammy. You are a lucky man. Smash a like for Forest and Newcastle. Yeah, so a really, okay. A big source says that United and Wolves are working strongly on a deal for João Gomes. And it says that there are talks in recent days that have progressed the move, and there's even an expectation that the transfer will take place in January. So strong Brazilian source, like the source in Brazil, says that João Gomes, United for January, is progressing for around 50 million euros for January. That is a big one. That's good. That just sent to me by our good friend Ray, who sends me this stuff from Brazil and these things, because there actually are some very, very good sources down there as well. As I heard in the last week, we were in talks with his representatives. As I talked about a few times on our lives during this week, that I'd heard we had at least made some contact and discussion with the representatives, but this looks like something. Anyway, it's being reported. So by Travella as an exclusive that it could happen very soon, and it's progressing. So we'll see. We'll see if it picked up anywhere else now, but supposedly this is a good source. Here, I'll pull the article up in a second for you guys. It just was sent to me. It wasn't what I was intending to start with, because I haven't heard anything myself beyond what I talked about this week. which was United having had that contact with his representatives. But maybe it is moving faster than it should be. Well, not than it should be. Moving faster than expected. And look, I was going to talk about Elliot Anderson, and I will, because Elliot Anderson is definitely, for me, the one watching him play. Carlos Baleba, once again, stinker and hooked. Halftime substitution. It's getting brutal. He's having a lot of halftime substitutions right now. Like, he's getting subbed out every halftime. And the thing about it is, I don't think it means necessarily that, I don't think it means necessarily that, like, our eyes were wrong about the talent that Baleba has. But I do worry about the fact that he hasn't been able to move it together. You know what I mean? That he hasn't been able to put it together consistently, that he's sort of fallen under the lights of all the eyes on him and things like this. That's a real concern for me. Let's look at this story about Gomes first, because it also acknowledges that the Wolves coach, has requested that Gomes stay. It mentions that. So it does acknowledge that has been stated. But here, let's pull this up. So it says, this is their exclusive from Trivela, from Diogo Magri and Guilherme Ramos. And it says, talks between Wolverhampton and a potential destination have progressed in the last week, according to Trivela. So this is their story saying João Gomes is close, expected to leave Wolverhampton for Manchester United in a deal worth around 50 million euros. According to Trivela, talks between Wolves and United have progressed in recent days. There's even an expectation that the transfer will take place in the next window, which begins in January. So, yeah. Okay. It says this as well, that the coach requested that João Gomes remain. Which is true as well. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on this. We're gonna have to keep an eye on this one. I think it's one of 3 good opportunities in January, a potentially very, very, very good one, because he's going to help a lot if we were to sign him. If we were to get this deal done, he would be exceptional for us. I think he would be a really, really solid player. Not too expensive in terms of euros. You're talking about 42 million pounds for a Premier League proven 24-year-old number 6 is a pretty good price, considering guys like Elliot Anderson and such are going for double that. I think it's a pretty fair deal. If this is the case, if this is what happens, he would provide very, very good coverage. And he could start for Casemiro. He can come on for Casemiro. He's flexible enough in the way that he plays that he could probably play next to anybody. He's a solid, good midfielder. He's good on the ball. Is he similar style to Ugarte? No, I don't know what that means anymore. You know what I mean? I don't know what it means what is a player like Ugarte, because Ugarte isn't even playing like Ugarte anymore. Maybe like the Ugarte I saw at Sporting, maybe similar in that respect. João Gomes has played quite a few different roles. He's much better on the ball these days, much more composed on the ball, very good in possession, things like that.
Our current chances on Semenyo/Jan signings.
I appreciate the question every stream, Tubbs, especially since you always ask me in Patreon as well. And you ask me every single day. Chances low, 10%, 15%, but not totally dead. At the same time, of course, certainly our chances on guys like Gomes and Guehi is a lot higher. Gomes is very combative. He tackles a lot. He's very good defensively, but he's also excellent on the ball. Like, really, really good on the ball as a carrier, and that's in the Premier League. And his passing is not like, it's no slouch either. He's not like a guy who can't pass the ball. You know what I mean? So certainly, I'm a fan of João Gomes in a measured way, in that I just think he's a very solid player. Not like I don't think he's a guy who's gonna like, I don't think he's like revolutionary, but we need a squad full of players. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm looking at right now. We need a squad full of players. Let me pull the stats up here again on João Gomes so you can see. This is last season. You can see he's consistently a very good carrier of the ball and a very good player at picking the ball up. Yeah, he's very intense. He has a really strong work rate. He's very well rounded. He can pass the ball. He can progress the ball. He can move the ball. He's a good duel winner. He carries the ball well. He's just good. Like, he's just a good player. He's just a good player. And with what we need in our midfield right now, that's why I like the idea of João Gomes. And also at the prices and such we're talking about, I think you're talking about a player here who could potentially, like, you're looking at a squad. We need a lot of midfielders. Casemiro's going to go. Okay? Casemiro's going to go. Ugarte's probably going to go. One of Bruno or Kabi is obviously feels like going to go. We need a squad of midfielders. And he's 24. Bear that in mind as well. Only 24 years old. So I would look at him like as a really, really good squad addition that is obtainable in January. If I was looking at, like, sure, if you were to get your ideal players in summer, you would go for somebody like, if you were to get your ideal players in summer, you'd go for somebody like Anderson, and then you'd go for somebody like, Baleba if he was good right now, but he's not, and Wharton. But Gomes is nice. Gomes is a nice squad player. So, yeah, this is good. We can't get our top targets now, so this is the type of player I like. So let's see what comes of this, because this is a really intriguing one. Yeah, really, really, really intriguing. So I like it. I think he's a strong player in terms of an option for United right now. Yeah, I would like him. I would love to see him play. We need a lot of midfielders. And the thing is, it's like I said before, the dynamic 6, 8, whatever doesn't really matter right now. The dynamics of our midfield is going to change so much that it's hard, it's not worth like comparing too much. You want me to compare him to Bruno Guimaraes right now on stats? I mean, he's got way better defensive stats than Bruno G at the moment. Bruno G is certainly more of an attacking player, but Gomes has got good numbers right now. Yes, and Wolves play the same kind of system as well. And saying, well, Kabi's better than João Gomes, is he? At what? Because we're talking about different things. They're different players. Gomes has proven a level of intensity, physical output, and competitiveness in the Premier League that Kabi hasn't as of yet. But they're also different players. I would say Kabi is more attacking and Gomes is more defensive. They're not the same at all in that respect. Kabi cannot do what Gomes does. That's just not true. He's not combative or physical in that way. I would say that Gomes doesn't have the offensive skill set that Kabi does. But they're quite different in that regard. You could play them together, and I think you'd have a decently solid midfield in terms of corresponding traits, but they're just different. They're different in that respect. And the thing that's where, yeah, I mean, if you're looking at workhorses and all of that in the middle, Gomes can kind of pair up with quite a few players. So let's see if this one moves forward a little bit more. We've been talking about it. We've been looking at it. I know we've made contact with his representatives. Whether or not we've actually had like these further advancements in the last week, let's see if anybody else can confirm this, because that would be quite exciting to me. And he's good on the ball, João Gomes. I mean, he really is. He's quite a good ball carrier. He's quite good. So yeah, we'll see. But that was interesting. I wasn't really like expecting to hear that immediately. In terms of that, but he's a good two-man midfield player, João Gomes. So let's see. All right. But yeah, look, today I did want to talk about Elliot Anderson. And it's, again, look, I don't think it's about wait for Elliot Anderson, that we shouldn't sign anybody else, because the fact is we need like 3 midfielders. I'll say it again. We need 3 midfielders, maybe more. Maybe more. We need that, right? So let's get them all. It's an upgrade now. But Elliot Anderson was fantastic today. Elliot Anderson was once again really, really special. I mean, you look at this Liverpool game, they got absolutely destroyed. Can we just take a moment? To admire this? $150 million, 500,000 a week, 40 million. It's too funny. 120 million, 40 million. I love it. I am enjoying the hell out of what we are seeing out of Liverpool this season. I am enjoying the hell out of it. You know what's crazy, right? I'm pretty sure, isn't it? The last 3 losses at Anfield have been Forest twice and us, correct? At home in the Premier League. Forest, us, and then last year was Forest as well, like a year ago, if I'm not mistaken. By the way, Murillo is crazy. Like, we talked about this when United played, but they have really, really solid center backs at Forest. They just have really, really, really solid center backs over there. Just so good. So good. Murillo is a really, really good player. But Anderson was just fantastic today, man. He was just fantastic today. He runs the game. He really does. And he does so much so well. He's the one. I mean, he's passing every single test right now for me. He's passing every single test right now that you could ask, because he's a guy who is standing up. I think the difference between Elliot Anderson and Baleba right now, when you're looking at it, is with the eyes on him, with the speculation around it, with the attention on him, with the call up to England, with everything on that. He is stepping up and playing better and better and better every single week as Anderson. He's playing the big sides and he's playing well. He's playing the small sides and he's playing well. He's doing everything you could ask of him right now and proving that he is the best up and coming midfielder in the Premier League, and doing it on the pitch. We don't have to look at questions of can he make it? Will he show his talent? Are we looking at potential? We're looking at a guy who has got potential and is showing that potential as well with Elliot Anderson. And that's the difference. And that's always, always worth it. It's not what can he be. He's already there. This is the most Declan Rice-esque midfield transfer that we will see again for another 10 years. It's exactly like that, where you see an English midfielder who is doing it in the Premier League at a young age that is just there. It's not even a question. You don't even have to think about it. Just do it. We should have done it before. We have to do it now. There is honestly zero doubt that can exist that Anderson is the guy that any midfield will want. Any midfield will want, and we just need to do it. We have to do it. We just have to. It's like this is the transfer that United must be making. These are the ones that we've made in years past when we were at our best, and these are the ones that we've done in terms of when we got Mbumo, and these are the moves that will rebuild us. It's just pay for it. This is one where you just go, it's just whatever the money is, you just do it, and just convince them. And the thing is that in terms of can we get these players? Well, look, we've been good at convincing English players and Premier League players, even when we're crap, even when we're at our worst. But take a look at this. I mean, look at look at where they are. You know, we've got an opportunity. We could be right here. 2 points off of second with a win on Monday against Everton. 1 point off of third. I mean, depending on the results of Tottenham and Aston Villa, right? But they're playing Arsenal, so in the North London Derby. So, like, you look at it and you go, why not us? Again, why not us? Who's to say that anyone has a better case than us, right now in terms of where we're going? But this is why I think we've got to be aggressive in January as well. We've got to be aggressive in January. We have to go for it in January. We have to say, look, we have a serious chance to get into this top 4 or 5 position. And what will that do for making a case for these players this summer that it's going to be competitive for guys like Anderson? We need to make a case to them, a strong case to them, that we're in it, that we are in it. And we're not going to be getting him in January. So we need to do something else in January.
Zero fucks where he plays. Get Anderson in.
Yes.
Elite.
Yes. 100%. 100%. You said, someone said here, I missed yesterday's live about the new PSR rule changes. How will it affect us moving forward? Yeah, so I'll make a whole video on this coming week, but the simplest answer is it's good news. We will not be limited in terms of what we need to spend. Whatever we got to go do, we can go do. But yeah, I mean, look, this is the time, This is the time to make things happen. This is the time to make things happen. This is when we got to shine. This is when we got to really go for it. We can convince these guys. We can get these guys to want to join United. We've done it in the past, and we're on the up and up now. We're on the up and up. We're on the up and up. Let's prove that. And that's why, again, we've got to go for it. We've got to go for it in January,
Palace,
so that we're there in summer.
Bournemouth, and Wolves coming up. How many sneaky conversations is Amorim going to have on the pitch post games?
No doubt.
Emoji.
Yeah, no doubt a few. I mean, he's already mentioned one guy that we're playing against on Monday, who I can tell you, I was asking about this, if there's anything in this. I think there's something in this. I think there's something in this one. Obviously, it's probably not for summer, but yeah. There's a player at Everton, but yeah, we'll see. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on if Amorim's having any sneaky convos with one Ndiaye. Probably pronouncing that wrong, but just keep an eye on that if he's having any good conversations with him on Monday, because his name drop was certainly not accidental. Was definitely not accidental. Certainly keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on that one, okay? Keep an eye on that one. Yeah, it was not just out of the blue, okay? So I'm loving it. Every time I hear a name, I'm loving it. Where would he play, though? I assume right wing back. And when I look at that, I would go, yeah, I mean, because it tells you kind of the type of attacking players and things that we need. We need more options, obviously. We don't have that many, but I assume right wing back. But I think he could play a few different positions. You know what I mean? More aggressive, fast, wide players. I have a feeling he could play in a few different positions. But he's very talented. Very talented. So, yeah, Amorim's signing every player he hugs. Yeah. Yeah. He's naturally left. Well, exactly. So I think he could play on both sides. I think he could play, again, somebody who could play in the 10s, who could play out wide as well. He could do either. He's playing out wide right now. I think he could definitely do either. Isn't he playing on the right this year? If I'm not mistaken, for Everton at the moment. But he can play everywhere except striker, yeah. So, again, I like the concept of that, because you have to bear in mind, if we don't want to sign specialist wingbacks, if we don't want to sign specialist wingbacks, which I still don't think they do want to sign like pure specialist wingbacks, what do we need? We need flexible, convertible players like Ahmad who can play multi-positional across the front three, out wide, things like that. Ndiaye fits that in as well. Okay, he fits in that as well, right? So, yeah, Prem-proven, flexible, similar-ish to someone like Semenyo, right? In that respect. So he's an important one to think about. Stuart with the 10 gifted memberships to the community. Thank you so much, my friend. Look at that. Marcus got one. Marcus, what the hell, man? You didn't do your own? Just kidding. But 10 gifted memberships to the community. There you go. Stuart, as always, thank you so much for supporting the channel, the stream, and everything. You are an absolute legend, and I appreciate you so much. Really do. I really do appreciate you so much. Yeah. So that's one to keep an eye on. So I'm excited. I hear names and I look at it and I'm like, okay, Semenyo, probably tough, but why would you go to Liverpool? Okay. I look at Anderson. I'm like, hell yeah, that's the one. I look at the news on Gomes. I'm like, just imagine a world where we get like Ndiaye, Gomes, Guehi, Anderson. That's a lot of really nice Premier League proven players to add to the squad between summer and January. And, that could give us something. You know what I mean? That could give us something special. That could help really build out this core of the team. Something like that. So, hey, I'm excited. I'm excited about the idea of this. I'm in pure like happiness and hopium era of things right now because the changes to PSR, the targets that we have, all of that. I'm just looking at, I'm like, we've got money. We can spend. We're targeting the right players. Why can't I have hope? Why shouldn't we have hope? I got hope, man. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with that. I love everything I'm hearing right now. Obviously, they got to follow through on some of this stuff, but like, does anybody believe anymore that they won't between January and summer? Does anybody believe that? I mean, look at what we did this summer with Mbeumo and Cunha and guys who were like, nah, it's not going to happen. Well, Cunha, yeah, but a lot of people thought Mbeumo was out of the question. The guys like Šeško were out of the question. Like, look at what we've done. They're pulling off these plans and showing we're going to go for it. Yes, we go for it. Exactly. It's like, everything I hear just makes me encouraged, and yeah, it just does. It just makes me very encouraged. Do we have money from Garnacho to spend? I mean, we've got money. We've got money. Yes. Look, we've got money. All right. Fact. We've got money. We've got money. We don't even have to think about it. It's a fact. The club have money. I can't play run. What's funny is that last year, when United were still working out the finances and the PSR things and things like that, I made videos and I was like, look, the money is tight. They're working through all of these things and they're fixing it so that they will have money. And I remember there's people who are always like, oh, PR for the club, the PSR and blah, 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 and the spending and things. And I said, no, listen, if we do it right, there will be money. And I won't be saying this again next time. I'm not saying it. They may not be happy about, the idea of people coming out and saying that the club have money, but I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that they don't have the money. I'm not saying it's going to be tight or difficult. Guys, they can fucking spend. Now, that's why I think it was so important over the last couple of windows that they were very diligent on not crazy overpaying for people. You know what I mean? Because we have money. How do we make sure we get good deals? Well, we need to make sure clubs know they can't take advantage of us. It's really that simple, right? We just have to know that clubs have to know they can't just pull our pants down now. And I think we've laid the law on that.
Reportedly want 70 million Jan for Gomes.
I don't think they can, Stuart. Like I hear that, and that's in that Travella report as well, saying that maybe they want more. But like, I think that it's fully dependent, like because of where they're at in the league. I don't think they can ask for that. Like nobody's going to give them that. Now maybe they'll say, fine, we're not going to sell him in January unless you pay 70, but we can agree for summer at 50. That is possible. I would still sign João Gomes in summer because again, I still want 3 midfielders, but I think that you push to get something in January. That's my take on it. I don't think that 70 is realistic. You know, maybe they've made some promises to the coach and things. I don't know, to be fair. It's hard to know on that front, but that Travella report seems to indicate that that's not the case, that he'd be available for a bit less and that it's doable. So we don't know what kind of clauses and things are there. But no, I don't think anybody's going to pay that kind of money for him, you know, in January. And I think that they might look at it and say, well, summer, it could potentially be even lower, right? Maybe lower than 50. And I think that that's where the negotiations go round. You know what I mean? Like, I think that that's where any negotiation will be centered is that, look, if you guys get relegated, he's going to ask to leave. We're going to pay 30 to 40 million at that time. So you give it to him for 50 million euros in January, or we'll see you back in summer when he's demanding to leave or his contract has clause and he's worth 30 million, you know? But it's a negotiation, you know, it's all a negotiation. I'm going to take my hat off because it's too hot. It's too hot in here today. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. But it's interesting. It's interesting, but there's so many options here, but yeah, look, Elliot Anderson, I think, has got to be the main guy we go for. And then I think we should still be going for, again, we've talked about these opportunities of Gehi, Gomes, Semenyo. We've heard definitely stories playing Semenyo down, but we're starting to get some ramping news on Gomes up. That's a positive sign to me. I think he is one of the more obtainable players in January that could also help us a lot this season. A strange story this evening, again, it is on that page, Altrincham. Visit Altrincham. You can go to their there it is. Altrincham. It is on their page. Okay? It is. It's on their page. That Cunha had an accident in training. Just in case you wanted to see it. It's there. I was just showing as I pulled it up on my phone. It is on their page saying that he has had an accident in training today and will not be able to attend the Christmas lights switch on for medical reasons. I have no idea what that means. I've got no clue what that means. You know? No clue. But that's not good. Right? That's a bad sign. I mean, it does, of course, mean we're really going to get a good chance at Xerxes getting an opportunity if Cunha is out. I would just changes my thought. This is why I wanted to do our squad vote tomorrow, because who knows what the hell happens over the weekend at this club. But yeah, does that mean we're going to go Xerxes, Mount, and Mbumo up front against Everton? Because I'd be for that. It lacks a little pace, but you'd get essentially Mbumo running as the 9, and you'd use Xerxes and Mount as your 10s, which would be fine. That would be manageable. So, yeah, I guess we'll find out. Allringham. All right, whatever. I'm never going to get it right. You guys just need to sort your own language out. You know, we have the same problems. Phonetics don't make sense. So yeah, this is a bigger opportunity now for Xerxes to get involved. for sure. I mean, if Cunha is actually out, then we don't really have another choice, do we? It's going to have to be Xerxes. You could push Bruno up, yeah. But look, if Cunha and Šeško are out and Xerxes doesn't get a chance, he's done. I'll trinch him. But yeah, if Šeško and Cunha are out and Xerxes doesn't get a chance, he's finished. He's just finished. You know? He is finished. He's just finished. If he can't get an opportunity there, then that's it. You know what I mean? Like, then it's time to go. You know, then we should be selling in January because he's obviously not going to play. You know, so I don't know. It's worrying a little bit. It's a little worrying. Oh, sure. So I guess we'll have to see if some updates come out on that. Aldringham. Okay, Aldringham. I would like to see him get a chance, though. The accident is that Cunha also doesn't know how to pronounce Aldringham. Yeah, fair. Push Bruno up and play Mainu Casemiro. Why? We need forwards. We need goal scorers on the pitch. You know? If we're going to do that, we probably would have already done it. If we're going to do that, then we really should sell Xerxes, though, because then obviously he has absolutely zero purpose in this team. If we're going to move, you know, Kabi also just returned to training today. He's not going to start on Monday. He's been out for 2 weeks from group training, a little longer even. So he's not going to start either. He's not going to start. He'll be unfit for a starting position if he's been out for a few weeks. So, yeah, I guess we'll see if we hear anything further on this tomorrow. I tell you what, on Liverpool, I mean this, but don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if you get links to Klopp from Liverpool soon. From some of the random things I've heard. Gerrard as well. Just saying. This ship is sinking under Slot, and concerns are there. Concerns are there. No doubt about that. I do not believe that they will be very, very happy with what they've seen so far. And there's been people in football circles that have absolutely heard that Liverpool have already reached out to people and just to check in on them. And I'm all for saying it, even if it's got a hint of truth in it, because the more instability that happens over at Liverpool, the better. So I think it would be very funny. If they do either of those things, it would be funny. It would be quite amusing. But they really did an old United this summer. The purchases of Wirtz, Isak, the way that they did it, oh my God, man. They really screwed it up. They really went for the whole, they went all in on Slot and his stupid, these Dutch managers, man. Nobody ever, this is why when people are like, oh yeah, you can't just keep saying this about the Dutch league. But the thing is that it keeps happening. It keeps happening, guys. Like, the Dutch league to English league pipeline is a fucking explosion of disaster. It's so bad. It's probably the worst league transition for players and coaches of any major top 10 league in Europe. It's so bad. Like, they're not just bad, they're really bad. Very often. You know, it's not just two managers, it's so many. De Boer is one of the worst ever. Coleman failed there. Like, it's just bad. And it's not just that, it's the players too that come from the Dutch league. Ironically, one of the only really good player, the last good set of players that came from the Dutch league into the Premier League were brought in by with Pochettino, bringing in the defenders from back then. It is players because it's like the last 15 years. I'm not talking about historically. You're talking because there used to be a really good stretch of them. You had Van Nistelrooy, even like, what's this, Suarez, or I don't remember. There's a few who came from the Dutch league and stuff. But it kind of ended with like Vertonghen and all of that. It kind of ended around the early 2010s. And since then, it's been horrible. It's been one of the least successful pipelines in football. Now, we can see like De Ligt is like coming into his own here after spending time at 3 other leagues. You know what I mean? So good for him, But this line from the Dutch league to the Prem has been so bad for like the last 10, 15 years. It's been just so bad. It's absolutely awful. And it's like, so, whenever we're linked to Dutch players, like we're linked to Alderweireld and Eriksson, it was all Pochettino's guys. Whenever we're linked to guys like it's like Keith Smith, I'm like, you guys can tell me he's the best player in the world in the Dutch league. I give him 10% to be successful in the Premier League. I don't care. There's nothing I can see there that would convince me. He could just as easily be another Van de Beek. He could just as easily be another Van de Beek. Very easy, for that to be the case. It could be that, that's what I would bet on if I was going to make a bet. And it's not personal. Timber's done well aside from not being healthy 80% of the time. He's a good player, but he's had huge injuries. I wouldn't call him a success yet. Remember how long ago they bought him? It's still hit or miss. There's a couple. Timber's probably the closest success at the moment, for sure. Probably the closest to being successful at the moment, but he still had crazy injuries since joining, and he's adapting to it. Let's see him stay fit for a season, We'll see. But again, it's not a 0% success rate, but it's very low. It's been very, very, very low, in that respect. So, unfortunately for Lissandro's the same issue. He's come in and had injury after injury after injury. As good a player as he is, injury after injury. He hasn't played in 2 years. Like, we have to acknowledge that. As much as I hope he comes back and is fantastic and shows his skill set, injury after injury after injury after injury, man. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Kudus has been up and down for a lower team. He's not really like tearing up trees at the moment, I don't think. But yeah, it's a league I'd be just incredibly wary of. It's just so, it seems so difficult for players to adapt when they come to the Premier League from there, and the managers too. But I think it's hilarious seeing, Liverpool do it, and not just the slot thing, but like the way that they bought players. The way that they bought, all these expensive big stars and things like that. It's like, whatever, man. They're all failing. Like, the Ekitike Isak thing is crazy, and how bad that has been for them. It's been so bad. Ekitike was playing better than Isak till Isak has been forced in, and then now Ekitike's off of his form as well. Look, I have my big doubts on the Bundesliga too. I would have the same doubts on the Bundesliga. They have the same kind of problem. You know what I mean? But yeah, I got doubts, man. I got doubts. The French league, French league's a good one. But yeah, Liverpool are doing things I would have expected United to, and we talked about this in summer. Spending huge on players that look like luxury players. It's interesting that they've done that, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they make a change, honestly. If it keeps going the way that it is now, of course. Not like immediately, but I would not be surprised at all if they ended up making, a change at some point there. I think Leach's injury issues just come down to the way he tackles, he throws. Yeah, but I mean, it's also like he's very aggressive in the way that he tackles, but you also have to do it at so much pace and space and speed and all of that kind of stuff. So That's definitely an issue. The thing that's weird about Liverpool this year and why I put a lot of it on the coach is even their Premier League purchases who were good last season are flopping. Kirkes, Isak, like these players should not be playing this badly, but they are. You have to look at the manager for that kind of stuff. You have to just look at the manager when it's like that. So, yeah, anyway, there you go. So let's see what happens here now. Again, real impressed with Elliot Anderson. Really, really impressed with Elliot Anderson again. Obviously, I think he's the one. We'll see with regards to João Gomes. It looks like there's some stories today that from Brazil that United have made progress in the last week or so on that deal. As I've said through the week, all I know is that they'd made contact as representatives to explore some more of the deal. Beyond that, we'll see if this is true, if anybody else can follow up on this, or if we can confirm that there has been progress on a potential up to 50 million euros a January deal for Gomes. And then, yeah, there's obviously a lot of other players United are looking at. I'm very interested to see, Ndiaye at Everton. Let's just watch Amorim, gives him the eyes, the handshake, the hug, the arm around the shoulder type of thing at any point during the game. We'll be interested to see that because I don't think he name dropped him on accident from what I've heard. And obviously there's so much more. It's bullshit their signings aren't being talked about as if that was us would be front back page news for weeks. 100%. Yeah. They're getting off the hook in comparison to what our guys have. They're getting more heat than Šeško. Šeško's gotten more heat than any of their failing signings right now. And that's crazy to me. That's just crazy to me. I can't, that's just ridiculous. So, it's, yeah. There's other people, there's other names, there's other things that we're looking at, but these are some of the key ones. Definitely, we've got to keep our eyes peeled for at this point, and see, what happens in terms of January. I think Gomes is, and as I said before, I think Gomes is one of the only ones that is potentially there. That is potentially an opportunity in January. But other than that, I think the rest are more of the long-term kind of options and things that we're looking at. So let's see what happens. Tomorrow, obviously, we'll do our pre-match. We'll do our pre-match discussion. We'll do our pre-match chatterino for the game. We'll vote on the lineups. We'll see what's happening with Cunha. Hopefully, it's not serious with Cunha. Hopefully, this odd story is either a misunderstanding or, something like that. Hopefully, it's nothing else, but I guess we'll see. When's the new PowerPoint coming? This week. Sometime this week it will be coming in. Sometime this week it will be coming. But yep. Sometime this week we'll get the PowerPoint on the whole PSR thing. But yeah, we'll be doing our live tomorrow with the squad vote, and then Monday we'll be watching the game. As a reminder to everybody, and I'm gonna post a link in the chat here. If you do want to go play the game over on Big Up, the picks are available. Go take your picks of these. That little glitch from yesterday has been fixed. Go get your picks in. You can win up to $375, and all entries are also entered to win $25,000 from Big Up. This is like a fantasy game that we play over there. There'll be a leaderboard feed during the game. You can only do a maximum of, I think, $10. So it's not a lot. It's not, nobody's going to, you're not betting infinitely or anything like that. It's just a fun competition, but you can win pretty big. The more picks you make, the more combinations, the more your multiplier is. And there's some easy ones, like Šeško not scoring is an easy one. But yeah, use the link there and enter, and I'll be entering my picks in and talking about them tomorrow as well. You do have to be in the UK or Spain or take a quick trip over to do that. See you later. We'll catch up on the next one. Be sure to keep us pivoted on your thinking of... Yes, I will keep you in the loop on the trip over, which I think will be in the spring. So I'll keep you updated there. Wharton and Anderson makes me uneasy physically. Don't trust Wharton's conditioning. See, the thing with Anderson to me and why I feel he's like in this respect like more nailed on in terms of like this Declan Rice is I've never had a single question in watching him about can he keep up. I look at Wharton and sometimes I think, yeah, he's doing it in the Premier League. So I don't want to... Come on, camera. I don't want to like downplay that. He's doing it in the Premier League. But at the same time, I look at him sometimes and I think, does he have the legs to keep up? With Anderson, I've never thought that question ever. When I watch him, I look at him and I just go, we're never going to wonder, can he compete at the physical levels? We're never going to wonder, can he fight? You know, we're never going to wonder, does he cover the ground? We're never going to wonder, will he be able to compete physically with other teams, other players, and other midfields or anything like that? Is he going to get overrun? He's going to be a guy raising those levels. That, for me, for this United team, when you look at our midfield, that's what I would look at first. Even the on-ball characteristics, to me, come secondary to that point. That's why, for me, Anderson has become, in what I've seen this season, the guy. Because, yes, his on-ball skills are incredible, and they're growing, and he's so complete in what he does. But I've never once looked and said, he's not up to it physically. And that's why I feel about Declan Rice. There was questions when he was younger. Is he going to be a good passer? What is he going to be good at? Is he mid at this? Is he bad on the ball? I remember people having questions. Was Rice a good passer? Things like that. But what he always had was that level of physical competition. Always had the level of physical competitiveness and steel that you needed to underpin it all. That was never in question. And that's why I think it's a no-brainer in that respect, because that's what we lack so much. At every level of our midfield right now, we lack that physicality. We lack the ability to keep up with everybody. What's up, Jimmy? You know, that's what we lack. I've never had that question with Anderson when I watched him. Still don't. So, and that's also, for what it's worth, why I like Gomes, because I see the same thing in him. Not that the other abilities he has are huge or as high end, but I never question his physicality. I never question his ability to keep up. I never question his intensity, things like that. He can keep up. So I'm good with either of those. I'm good in any case, okay, with anything. Not with either, with both. I'd like both. So that's what we've got. That's all I wanted to talk about today. If you did miss the earlier part of it, we had an interesting story from Portuguese media, just in case this was missed, talking about João Gomes potentially joining Manchester United in January and saying, according to their information, talks between United and Wolves have progressed in recent days and that the transfer could take place in January, and that is moving forward. So there's some reports here that perhaps United are making their move for January, and I would love to see that with a João Gomes. That would be a really good opportunity we could take advantage of that we've spoken about a lot this week. Okay. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow, my friends, with another live, and we'll do our pre-match. We'll see if we can get any update on Cunha's situation by then. We'll vote for our squads. We'll do all of that tomorrow. We'll hang out. And then Monday, obviously, we've got the game. And again, as a reminder, head on over to Big Up for the watch along on Monday. Make sure you're part of that community, and you can also enter to win big prizes over there and compete in the picks game and all of that. Okay. Thank you all for watching, my friends. I hope you have had a good Saturday. It's been a good day. United with a real chance to go into the top 4 on Monday. So a big opportunity out of this break as the schedule gets favorable for us. And we've got a strong run of games here all the way for months now with no interruptions. We're almost there. Okay, enjoy your weekend, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one, everybody. See ya.